This is probably the most important case of our time. Journalism forms one of the central pillars of our democracy, which is to be able to hold the powerful to account through the media. Who is left to hold them to account if the media can't do it? It's as though the authorities have completely abandoned the rule of law and due process in this case. This is what will happen to you if you dare to tell the truth about American war crimes. The fact is if they can do this to Julian, they can do it to anybody. My name's Joseph Corré. I've been an activist for many years, and at this point in time I'm trying to focus on what can be done for the Julian Assange situation. We've got to a situation where it seems that many different jurisdictions, from Sweden to the United States to Ecuador to the UK, have been complicit in an attempt to try to silence the founder of WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, from disclosing information that holds the powerful to account by telling the truth through whistleblowers that have leaked that information. WikiLeaks has exposed information all over the world, in all different jurisdictions and in all countries. This particular situation really centres around the leaks that were made to WikiLeaks and Julian Assange via Bradley Manning, now Chelsea Manning, about essentially American war crimes. Strangely enough, the case that has been brought against Julian actually doesn't include the main collateral murder video, because I think it's plain for everybody to see that the contents of that information in that video are pretty harrowing, and I don't think there's any doubt in anybody's mind when they see that information that it constitutes war crimes. This is probably the most important case of our time. It's as though the authorities have completely abandoned the rule of law and due process in this case. What we've had is really what can only be described as a kangaroo court process up until this point. Journalism, WikiLeaks, the idea of publishing the truth is in everybody's interest. It's not partisan. Journalism forms one of the central pillars of our democracy, which is to be able to hold the powerful to account through the media. That's the media's job. It's not the media's job to just repeat what the powerful tell them to repeat. In that sense, you have no democracy whatsoever. So this is really what's at stake. Julian and WikiLeaks has consistently been the one outlet that has consistently told the truth, as it is. That needs protection. That principle needs protection. Whistleblowers need protection. And the people like Julian Assange and WikiLeaks that publish the information that we all need to see, that sheds light in the dark, is of vital importance to us. And that's why it's vitally important that we stand up at this point and support Julian Assange. He doesn't have a block of support from one party or another, or one side or another. You can only expect support in the end for him from people who understand the ramifications of what it means to tell the truth, good or bad. Myself, my mother Vivian, and other people that we have around that are supporting us and supporting this issue have taken the decision to actually take this on in a more meaningful way and take it to the streets and really try to tell it how it is. So we have a whole programme of ideas and events that we're going to be putting in place in the lead up towards Julian's trial here in the UK. And the first one of those things is going to be happening outside the Old Bailey on Tuesday next week, where Vivian is going to represent the canary in the coal mine by being hung in a cage, in a giant bird cage outside the Old Bailey, and she's going to give a speech from that cage as to why we're doing this and why this is so important. The fact is if they can do this to Julian, they can do it to anybody. Any journalist all over the world, regardless of which jurisdiction they're in, and you know what he's facing in the end is what I can only describe as a 175-year living death sentence in the United States. We know what will happen if he is extradited to the United States. He would be tried in a secret military court in Virginia. We know that's what will happen to him, and if it does, Julian in a way will cease to become a person or a human being. He will just become a symbol of saying this is what will happen to you if you dare to tell the truth about American war crimes. This is what will happen to you, and it doesn't matter what country you're in the world, we can come and get you and we can bring you here. This situation is not about the law and due process in that respect, because anything that the United States doesn't like, or any attacks on the United States that force them to look in the mirror and own up to the responsibilities they have, if they don't like it, they just say, well, we don't approve of this call, and we don't agree with what you say, and that's the end of it. So if that happens, who is left to hold them to account if the media can't do it? Nobody. So what can we do? How can we help this situation? It's not easy, but we have to try to do everything that we can, and that would include running petitions, writing to your MP, supporting Julian Assange in the media, turning up to events to support Julian Assange, talking to your friends and neighbours about the importance of Julian Assange. We have to reclaim the narrative. We have to reclaim it on the basis of the truth. You don't have to look very far in this situation to find it, to see what's really been going on. You've got to help. It's going to take all of our efforts. Please support Julian.